what's up? Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another episode of #Halloween. This video I am so excited to share with you guys. This was so much fun to make, and just the idea behind it. Every year I always see themed videos where people make Disney costumes, or they make costumes from a certain TV show, or they make costumes from a certain movie, and I thought it would be so fun to make Disney costumes, but not just any Disney costumes. I thought it would be fun to make 4 different costumes of 4 different Disney characters that I think are very underrated, not as widely appreciated as they should be, and just characters that are super adorable and fun to make costumes out of. The first costume I have that I'm going to be making for you guys today is who I think is the king, or the emperor if you will, of underrated Disney characters. I think The Emperor's New Groove is the #1 underrated Disney movie in my opinion. I don't think that it's as widely loved and talked about and made memes about, and like, I just don't feel like people appreciate this movie as much as they should. If someone were to ask, what is your sense of humor like? I would tell them this movie. Like, this movie literally has me laughing. I am cracking up the entire movie no matter how many times I've seen it. I just think that this movie is just so underappreciated, and Cusco is definitely a very funny, lovable character that I don't think gets enough love. So we are going to be making a DIY costume to be him for this Halloween. Okay guys, so for Cusco's costume, I actually started by making his headpiece. I think it's like a crown, but I'm not really sure because it's kind of like this weird circular shape. It looks kind of like a sun, like it looks like the sun rays. I started by drawing a half circle, and I drew it on this yellow foam, and then I cut out the half circle. Then I traced the headband to make a half circle at the bottom of the crown, which is what Cusco's looks like. But using a ruler, I made straight lines, and then I'm gonna go over those lines that I just drew in pencil with this gold fabric paint, and I'm literally just freehanding this, which was really stressful. I feel like you can't tell in the video, but I was really freaking out thinking that I was gonna like mess up, but actually the lines ended up being a lot more straight than I thought they would. After adding the paint to it, I sprinkled some gold glitter on top to give it more of a sparkle to it. The fabric paint that I actually used was metallic and was supposed to be glittery, but I just wanted to add more glitter to it. Then you'll notice on Cusco's outfit that he's wearing, he has like these gold, I don't even know what to call them. They're like a gold line around the sleeves and at the bottom of his, is it even a dress? Is it considered a dress? I don't know if it's like a robe or a dress, but they are gold. So I thought that I would make that also out of the gold paint, and then again sprinkle some glitter onto that line that I just made. And then I'm actually going to be doing the same thing for the other sleeve. Then I'm going to be doing the same thing that I did to the sleeves to the bottom of the shirt, because he has some gold trim at the bottom of his, again, dress robe thing that he wears. And then I add some glitter to that as well, just to give it more of a sparkle, make it more golden, I guess. Now we're going to move on to making Cusco's earrings, and I am actually tracing into a piece of blue foam 4 perfect little circles. I'm going to cut them out, and I actually decided to, in order to make them be able to be like worn in my ear, I'm actually going to glue a gold hoop earring that I already own onto the foam, and then kind of like sandwich it between the 2 pieces if that makes sense. I feel like it's easier to watch than for me to like explain it to you guys, but that is how I made the earrings. And now we're going to move on to the gold collar thing that he has on his robe dress. I don't know, again, what to call it, but I am tracing the outline of the collar of the shirt, cutting that out, and then I'm going to make it like a slanted shape. I feel like I sound so confused as I'm explaining this, but it's easier to just like watch what I'm doing than to say what I'm doing. Going to glue that onto the top of the shirt. And then I'm going to glue it down a little bit more. And again, using the roller because we want our lines to be super straight. Making some lines. Adding the gold metallic fabric paint. And you guys know the drill. After that, we're going to add some glitter. Make it more sparkly. The next character is Flounder from The Little Mermaid. I think Flounder is, first of all, adorable, the cutest fish under the sea, but also I just feel like he's like the sidekick that I don't think gets appreciated as much as he should. Flounder just has all the best qualities in a friend. He's super loyal. He does whatever Ariel tells him to do. He's always around. He's so cute and squishy. I just think he's adorable. So I wanted to show you guys how to be Flounder for Halloween. For the Flounder costume, I started out with a piece of blue felt that I traced 6 like half oval shapes that are going to serve as Flounder's gills. Once I cut one of the ovals out, I actually used it to trace the other 5 and then cut them out. Once they were all cut out, using my hot glue gun, I actually glued them one at a time onto the shirt, making sure that each one was in line with the one across from it, and each side had 3 gills on each. For Flounder's face, I decided that I was going to make his facial expression and fins and his hair onto a bucket hat in order to wear that on my head and look more like him. So I actually cut out 2 eyeballs and 2 eyebrows out of another piece of cardboard that I got from an Amazon package. Then I just painted the eyebrows black because those are the color of Flounder's eyebrows in the movie. And then I painted the eyeballs with a base coat of white. Then using a piece of blue foam, I actually cut out a fin in order to glue that to the side of the bucket hat and then use that to trace another fin identical to it. And then I actually decided to make a tiny top fin because Flounder actually has a top fin in the movie and it kind of serves as like his hair. So I cut that out as well. And then because Flounder actually has a lighter blue stripe down the sides of both of his fins and his top fin, I decided to use this teal color to paint a lighter blue stripe down all of his fins. And then while that paint dried, I started to work on the eyeballs by adding the giant pupils that are in the middle of Flounder's eyes.
Then I glued Flounder's top fin together and secured it to the top of the bucket hat. Then I hot glued his bigger fins that are on the sides of his face to the bucket hat as well. Then before I glue the eyes to the bucket hat, I decided to add a lighter blue outer ring to the pupil because Flounder has that in his eyes.
The next characters that I have are the adorable aliens from the Toy Story movies, and I think that these little guys are just, again, just so underrated, underappreciated. I feel like they are adorable. I love their little the claw. Like, they're just so cute and I love them so much. So I don't understand why there's not like all these stuffed aliens and why people aren't like still obsessing over them. I know Toy Story is an older movie. I mean, Toy Story 4 isn't that old, but you know, the whole Toy Story franchise has been around for a long time and maybe that's just not as popular anymore, but I think these guys are adorable. So I'm gonna be showing you guys how to be them for Halloween. Also, if you guys are planning on going out, going partying, drinking the White Claws, I feel like this costume is perfect because every time I hear them say like the claw, it just reminds me of White Claws. I'm sorry, that's just like where my brain goes. Okay, so for the Toy Story aliens, I actually tried to print out their iconic little planet logo that they have on their suits out onto iron-on transfer paper, but when I printed it out, it actually printed in black and white, so that wasn't cool. We were out of printer ink, so I decided to instead take that piece that printed out and color it in with paint, the same colors that it would be if it would have printed out in color, I guess. So that is what I'm doing right now, just painting the planet to look like their little logo. And I do realize that I think I made this way smaller than I wanted it to be, so if you guys are making this, I recommend making it just a little bit bigger. Then I moved on to the eyes that I'm going to make for the aliens. They obviously have 3 eyes, and I did that by gluing googly eyes onto a piece of green foam and then cutting around them. Then I made an antenna out of another piece of green foam by just literally cutting a straight line, a straight skinny little rectangle. And then I just cut out a tiny little circle to be the tip of the antenna. And then I actually decided that I wanted it to be a little bit thicker, so I did cut off another piece to just glue onto the back of the antenna so that when it's sticking straight up, it won't like flop over. I guess it'll be more sturdy. Then I'm going to go ahead and make the ears, which stick out quite a bit from the side of their face, kind of like an elf shape. So that's where I just freehand drew it and then used the first ear that I cut out to make the remaining 3. Then I glued the eyes and ears both onto the headband, and you have the alien headband. Then I'm cutting out the logo, and because it's not iron-on transfer anymore because I painted it, I am just hot gluing that to the side of the shirt that it is on the aliens. the very last character is Dumbo the elephant, obviously. He is just such a classic. His movie is such a classic. We all love Dumbo, but I feel like Dumbo could make a huge comeback because now everyone is so obsessed with elephants. I see elephant decor everywhere, so I feel like this is like the perfect time, Dumbo, for you to make a comeback. And I'm gonna show you guys how to be Dumbo this year for Halloween. Okay, so for the Dumbo costume, we're gonna start out by making Dumbo's ears, which I am freehand drawing on two bigger pieces, I guess, of foam, and then cutting them out. Then I'm taking the foam and tracing that same exact shape onto a piece of gray felt and cutting that out. Now I'm going to glue the gray piece of felt onto the foam and then trace again a piece of pink felt this time, and this time I'm actually going to make sure to take a little bit off of the edge as I'm trimming because it's supposed to be a little bit smaller than the gray felt. Then I'm going to glue that onto the gray felt and go ahead and do the same for the other ear, and then once both are made, I'm going to glue them both onto the headband. Then taking a piece of cardboard that I actually got from an Amazon package, I am tracing, just freehanding Dumbo's hat, which I'm going to then cut out. After that, I'm going to take a piece of yellow felt and trace the same shape of the hat out of the felt because we're going to be gluing that onto the cardboard to make his little Dumbo hat. Once I have the hat glued together, I'm also going to glue that to the headband to complete the headpiece of the Dumbo outfit. Okay, and in order to make Dumbo's collar, I'm actually cutting out a half circle that is the length of the shoulders, I guess, of the shirt. Like shoulder to shoulder, I measured that out and then made a half circle, cutting out the edges to be like that squiggly line. Now I'm going to trace the collar so that I can cut that out of the felt. I actually glued two pieces of red felt together to make this. It wasn't just one piece. And now to the felt, I'm going to add the yellow ribbon because Dumbo has like a little bit of yellow ribbon around his red collar. Once that is made, I'm actually just going to hot glue that to the top of my shirt, and I actually only did this for the front of the shirt because I didn't want to make it for all the way around, but if you guys are going for like a more finished costume, you can totally do the same thing for the other side. So those are all the costumes I have for you guys today for all the characters that I think are way too underrated of a Disney character. I'm so happy that I got to show you guys how to be them for Halloween. I got to talk about them a little bit today because, again, I just feel like these are characters that don't get enough attention for how adorable they are and lovable and amazing. So this video is probably my favorite video I've made in the series so far. So if you guys are still watching at the end of this DIY video, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you sometime soon with another one. Bye!